Hello, welcome to another video. And I have a special guest. I have Ali with me,
Mm.
who's we've been very fortunate enough to manage to go and do a lot of store champs together, haven't we?
Yes.
And
Six.
yeah, she is the better half of the Harlan Sweetie brand, Ali. Ali Sweetie is what you go by on Twitter as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a new thing.
Yeah, and like she's had such a success with the deck, like taking out the store champs, and we managed to meet each other in the finals of another one. You got to highlight the top players, really, haven't you? That are performing very well. So we thought it best to get you on. And also, you've only been playing for such a short time.
Yeah, I think I started actively playing Lorcana in November.
Yeah, and it was like to go from that, and I believe as well some of our other locals, like you've inspired them to pick up the deck as well.
Yeah, that's been quite cool.
And that's been a really nice reaction to
Yeah.
see. I mean, as much as I complain about mirrors a lot, we played one today, and there was 4 of us on this build.
Yeah.
Me and you included, and 2 others. And like one of them we didn't know it turned up. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been amazing to do store champs together. And as I say, you've only been playing for a little bit of time, but have you been enjoying this deck? And you don't have to answer that yes because it's me recording you. Have you been enjoying this?
Yeah, I have. Because I always played Sapphire Steel since my first starter deck was Sapphire Steel. And then I tried to make a heroes deck from that, and as you know, it just wasn't working for me.
Yes.
Well, I enjoyed it. You said it wasn't really working. So then you showed me this, and then I started practicing this, and I really vibed with it. And yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, and it's awesome to say as well. I saw the first decks you played with, and it was very fun. I think
tried.
you tried. Yeah,
It was the first deck I've ever built in my life in any game.
yeah. I think it was completely right. And then we managed to get on this, and then like you went from, as you were saying, I don't really want to say it, but I'm going to say it. You weren't doing particularly well at leagues, were you?
No.
You know.
No, but even when I started using this deck, I wasn't doing well at leagues either.
No, you weren't. And then you ended up going to the finals of Store Champs, and I felt that one was quite hard. I mean, I didn't even make top 8 in that one. And like others as well that we thought probably would have made the cut didn't manage to do it. And then Southend, we managed to run it back as well there for another Store Champs. But like, so going from, as you say, being new to this and not really having the results you wanted to winning a Store Champs, is there anything along that route that you thought you could maybe share with anyone that like helped them?
I don't really know. I don't know what to say.
You don't know what to say?
I've gone shy.
No, that's fine. But like we kind of just practiced quite a lot together, I think, didn't we? And
Yeah, and even when I went, because obviously I do league nights with you, but then I also have done league nights with my friend in somewhere else. Like if I lose, yeah, sometimes it's upsetting, like when you get big CC 3 times in a row. But then the people who I've played against who are better than me would like give me advice and be like, oh, on this turn you could have done this. And rather than being upset, like taking it on board and realizing, oh, in that matchup I shouldn't do this.
yeah,
Because I think that's a big part of it, is learning what I'm playing against.
yeah.
Because I've just played Sapphire Steel for so long, that's all I knew.
I think that was a big thing that me and like my local group noticed with you is like you don't just get upset and go, this game's terrible because I lose to this. You're like, well, I lost to this and this is why.
Yeah.
How do I improve on that? And I think that's like a fundamental skill you need to be better at card games.
Yeah, and like even though I won a Store Champs a couple of weeks ago, when we went to one yesterday and I did abysmally, like, I learned more then as well. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
in this, I shouldn't have done that. Like I did that too soon.
Yeah.
I should have done that on my next turn. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and as also as well, we sat you on the online version of Lorcana that I'm not going to say the name of, and you just played lots of games through it, didn't you, as well, just so you can learn the cards and
learn
all the
other people's cards.
Yeah, because it's that thing of like, you would know to not play this card if they're going to play the big Sisu, but if you're unaware what the big Sisu is and what it does, you have to learn that. And then you learn like the red ladies and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, they're new to me.
Yeah, and you learn all the cards and like what's going to happen and when to use the Pete as well.
Yeah.
I think that was a big thing, like learning, you know, the B prep's coming up, the be prepared.
Yeah, it's very new to me learning to look at other people's ink and like be aware, like, okay, on the next turn they can get to this ink and use that.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm pretty sure there's loads of people who, of course, fundamentally know you play the Pete that turn, don't you? But of course, he's very, very new to this. But she's managed to get those skills in, and just sort of, it was nice watching you to go like, oh, no, play Pete on 6 ink because I know the Be Prepared's coming next turn,
Yeah.
and you stall it out, which was really awesome. And we're hoping, good to hear you love the deck. You know, that's great. I think we're hoping to play at Axion, aren't we, in March? We're going together, and of course we're going to be practicing this deck and hopefully honing it perfectly. And we will be going in a cosplay thing, and if you see us in cosplay, you don't know who I am.
You do, you do. You definitely know who he is.
So that'll be a nice treat for anyone who attends the event. But yeah, I think it's just really great to see. It was like just know that someone who's come from such a humble beginning of like 3 to 4 months playing, just getting the practice in, and you know, learning the game, and you managed to go and win a Scar, which is what I think a lot of people want to win, isn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to win a Scar at all this set champs, but like that was my goal, and then I actually won a mat, so it's like
that was
crazy.
It was mad because I think the one before you wouldn't particularly enjoy your performance, and then the next one you went. I remember, I think it was round 4. You went outside to have a breather. I thought you were literally going to go outside and throw up or something. And you went outside to have a breather.
Like on the Saturday, how many people were at that one? There was like 20 odd people there, and I came 11th, and I was so proud. I was like,
oh, you were? Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that's amazing for me. I always come last at leagues, so to become 11th, like I was like, that's it, I'm done. I've peaked. And then the next day, and I did after I think it was like the semi-final one. Yeah, I had to go outside and have a breather because I wasn't expecting to do that well, so I was very anxious and felt sick. But that's fine.
But it's really good, and for anyone as well, like I'm sure you making that top 8, that first top 8, that top 4, that first finals, that first mat, that first day 2, whatever, it just does amazing things for your confidence as well. Because it was nice to see for you just kind of beat yourself up sometimes, and then to go into winning something, and it was like, oh, okay. I've got a little something behind myself now, and I can like move with this. I've got some momentum to play better.
Yeah, and like I think it was fun as well because it was the store champs at our locals that we go to every week, so I knew most people there. So I know they're good players, and some of them people I could never ever beat, and I beat them. So that was like, oh my goodness. Like,
And the other thing as well, straight afterwards, she became an absolute TCG grinder gremlin, as she was telling me what cards we needed to include and what cards we needed to remove from the list.
There's only one.
I think it was one more Baymax, one less Gantu. So if anyone out wants to test that,
I've changed my mind now though. Now I would do one more Baymax still, but one less Robin Hood.
One less Robin. Yeah, that's to be fair. And if you've seen my other videos, I've been trying a list where we'll cut the Robin Hoods, and we're trying something else out, but. I just thought it'd be a fun little video for anyone out there to show you that, you know, as long as you put the practice in, put the hard work in, I'm sure you can achieve any of your Lorcana goals. So thank you very much for watching.